Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of With All Due Respect. We are your hosts. I'm Ryan Shedd. That's Marcus Flowers. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm good, Ryan. Welcome, everybody. It's our first episode. We're excited to get it underway.
Heck yeah, man. I've been waiting for this for weeks.
Oh, man.
So we got a lot going on already, but before we get into that, I thought it would be only appropriate for you to explain how we got to this show, why we partnered up, why you thought bringing somebody as crazy as me was a good idea. But so tell the folks how we got here.
Listen, man, I've been in this political arena since January 6, 2021, when I decided it was time for me to leave government service and run for Congress against Marjorie Taylor Greene. And after starting that run, and that's what everybody knows me from, that's how I met you and found out your story, Air Force veteran, me, an Army veteran, people, like-minded people who saw the dangers that we all saw coming prior to January 6th and everything that's happened since then. Trump's re-election, the right is going completely off the rails and being crazy. It's time for us, and I'm a Democrat, Ryan, you're an independent, but it's time for us to stand up and start fighting back, start fighting fire with fire. So we're here to have that conversation. And I can guarantee you, people, it's going to be raw. It's going to be real. This won't be the most polished version of myself or Ryan, which, I'll let Ryan tell you about how he approaches things. But, I think it's time to take the gloves off. For Democrats, we got to fight fire with fire. It's time to fight back and start really pushing back on these issues. And, I'm running a PAC, Hold the Line right now, and we're all about bringing in the next generation of Democratic leadership, that leadership that's going to push back. So we're going to be having conversations with, people who are running for Congress, who are in Congress, who are willing to bring the fight to MAGA.
Yep. And that was honestly, when you called me with this idea, that was really what sold me. Honestly, was you wanted to bring in the next line of Democrats. You wanted to bring in, the younger people. You didn't just want to focus on, the Jasmine Crockett's, the AOCs, hope we get to bring them on the show. But still, we're going to focus more on, hey, city councils and stuff. That's where this starts, and then let's mentor these people and really get them to be the representatives that we deserve, unlike the Lauren Boeberts who stand on their soapbox and say, my job isn't to protect you or, really care about you, while simultaneously her son's being arrested for child endangerment, by the way.
Absolutely. Once again, being arrested.
Yeah, it's his third. Yeah, felonies before and reckless driving before that. And she tried saying this was a one-time thing. Anyway, we digress.
We'll do a lot of that over the.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. But no, just knowing that we're going to try to be a part of, I don't want to say rebuilding, but building the Democratic Party up into, I think, what more liberals want to see and support. I know for myself, I'm dying to re-register as a Democrat. Like I really am, but the party's got to earn me back, man. They do. And it doesn't mean I'm going to be voting Republican like probably ever in my life. So don't misconstrue what I'm saying here. But it's like I got to a point where I felt like it was an abusive relationship a little bit. Yeah. And it was like, you guys are going to have to like earn my trust back and show me that you guys can really do it. And like you just said, I'm going to show my independent colors for a second. I love what Cory Booker was standing on the floor saying. The other night. That's the kind of stuff I want to see. However,
be a lot more of that.
However, I also watched Cory Booker be the only Democrat to vote to confirm Kushner to be ambassador of France, knowing that Donald Trump pardoned him during his first term from felonies. So when you're standing out there saying that stuff, but your actions are showing me something completely different, that looks very performative to me.
Well, and like I talked about with our good friend Joe Walsh on his Substack the other day, Democrats need to start taking a page out of the Republican playbook and start closing ranks behind a single message. Means
Yes,
we
sir.
don't confirm any of their nominations.
Thank you.
None of them.
Yep.
Close ranks, everybody. It should be 0 votes from Democrats.
Shut it
And
down.
get back to a place where they're willing to come to the table, have serious conversations, nominate serious people, because I say it all the time, government is serious business for serious people.
Yep.
And I don't see any serious people in this administration, all the way up to the top, to the president. There are no serious.
Tell him, brother. Tell him.
So you can't be nominating or voting.
Well, and let me throw this at
pass
folks.
through anyone, any of them.
I totally agree. But let me throw this at it, because you said something good there. Donald Trump's whole thing is bullying other countries using tariffs.
Yes.
Like, that's lit, and Republicans love it. They're like, oh, I love that he's going around. Like, by the way, a bully always gets his in the end. Don't forget that. But it's like, let's play the same game. Like, that's how they do business. Let's bully the crap out of them. It's like, oh, you think you're going to get us to vote for something? Oh, no. And by the way, can we talk about standalone bills? What happened to that, Republicans and MAGA? You guys cried about it for 4 years. Let's do some standalone bills here instead of passing all this ridiculous crap for billionaires.
That's it. And that's really all it's about. The working class, the guys like me and you, we're the ones who are getting hurt. Everyday Americans.
Every day.
We're getting hurt by these people. So, and we'll dig a little bit more into that deeper.
Yeah,
small businesses and everything else.
I wanted us to get off I wanted us to set the tone right for this show. So with all due respect, we're going to be bringing candidates. We're going to be bringing, information that may be hard to digest, but we're also going to bring some jokes, some laughs, a little levity, because we're going to need that to get through this. Whether it's a year or 3 years that we're looking at with this dude, we're going to have to get through it together. So with that,
let me touch really quick before you
please.
go on. Let me just talk about the name of our podcast.
Yeah, go for it.
Respect. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're both vets. I'm an Army vet. Ryan's an Air Force vet. Anytime you say with all due respect to a superior, that means you're getting ready to tell the truth, no matter how hard they take it, no matter how much it hurts. That's what with all due respect means. And that's what we're all about on this podcast. We're going to tell it the way it is with all due respect.
Yes, sir. And again, that fits so well with my typical rants that I think we're going to be good. But no, guys, this is going to be a good show. It's going to be something that is going to become a staple of your Wednesdays, because we have to focus on the future. And that is ultimately what this show is going to be about. Yeah, you may not like it all the time. Truth may be a little hard to swallow. Sure as heck is for me sometimes. But it's what's needed. And if we have to use our platforms to fix this. Like, I don't know any other way to put it. If you have a platform right now, you have a duty. If you want to call yourself a patriot or whatever, you have a duty to use your platform to fight back against what's currently happening, because it's insanity. As you'll see with some of the conversation we're going to have today, some of what's happening is just straight out insane.
And that's what I feel like a lot of the pushback that my party, Democrats, are getting, as people are tired of the same old, playing nice, talking, being policy wonks, and existing in a world where the other sides, they don't have the same rules. They're not playing. They're not even in the same sport as we are right now. And that's one of the things that I talk about when I say I want to usher in or help usher in the next generation of Democratic leadership. And what I mean by that is, how many times have you heard an aging politician? And I'm not an ageist, by the way. I mean, because there's still a place for elder statesmen and women, to teach the next generation. But you've heard it.
But that mentorship, we need to talk about that mentorship.
Exactly, where they say, oh, we're holding it down for the next generation to come in. I mean, Joe Biden said it all the time. But what we're seeing is they never leave office. They never allow for that next generation of leadership to come in. So we're going to talk about that as well. So,
no, I'm glad you said that, because that really is a big part of what we're facing right now. When you don't have a turnover in leadership, which we've chronically dealt with, it's really tough to change anything because they've got their foothold on the whole game.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we're gonna do our little part to shift the things in favor of those coming up the ranks a little bit.
Let's do it.
But with that,
let's get kicked off.
there was some eggs being laid in Scotland the other day, so I thought we'd start the show with a little video. If you didn't catch it, Donald Trump had gone to Scotland to do business. When I mean do business, I mean show up to all his private properties to check up on things and do some red ribbon cutting. While he was over there, it was discovered that his caddy or whoever, security, I don't know who he was, but he developed a nice little toss that we'd like you to see.
Let's check it out.
Watch. Bloop. And Trump, the way Trump just like gets out of the cart too, like, oh, we do this all the time. This is like, we've perfected this.
That's been done 1,000 times before. As much golf as he plays
daily,
as much taxpayer dollars that we've spent.
We're probably paying that guy to do that.
On his golf outings, he's cheating in front of the world.
Yeah.
Now, so I mean, that says a lot about who our president of the United States is.
And when we were having a conversation about this earlier, we talked about golf being a game that is very rooted in honor. Yeah. It's an honor system. Like if you go out there and you hit 5 strokes and it's a par 4, you write down a 5. But we've all been on the golf course with that person that you've got to be watching their strokes and your own because they're going to be writing down some other stuff.
Exactly.
So, to me personally, it just is another thing to show what kind of person he really is. And it also reminded me, we were talking about a video that we saw on Club Shay Shay. And if somebody knows the gentleman's name, please put it in the comments. But he said this pretty profound thing. And it was like, he said wife, but I'm just going to say spouse. He said, if you're cheating, or I can't do business with somebody who cheats on their spouse.
On their wife, her spouse.
Because if the person that lays next to you can't trust you, then I sure as hell can't. And that was profound because it's like,
Absolutely. I mean,
so to me, this video was just another example of why we can't trust Donald Trump for anything. He can't play around with golf.
Trust Donald Trump.
We haven't for a long time.
Donald Trump for anything. I've never trusted him since day one. The day he came down the elevator, because I listened to the New Yorkers who have paid attention to him all of their lives, and he's been all over their tabloids and in their lives every day. And they said, you got the likes of Robert De Niro who would say, this guy's a clown. He shouldn't be trusted. And back then, I thought there was no way this guy could win the Republican nomination, but now we know better. He not only did it once.
And I thought there was no way that a convicted felon and adjudicated abuser and all that would win a second election. But hey, here we are.
Yeah, and then indicator, he cheats at golf. He's
and for those out there who think that the numbers don't make sense, I just want to know why nobody wants it to be audited. We audited the 2020 election for 9 months here in Arizona with cyber ninjas. Oh, and by the way, they found that more votes for Biden, less for Trump when they got done, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
But why don't we want to audit this one? Why do we only audit elections that Republicans lose? Can you tell me that, Marcus?
We know what it is. The conspiracy theories abound, and
hypocrisy.
You didn't win. If they didn't win, it's not a win. There had to be cheating somewhere.
I couldn't have possibly have lost this election. Somebody had to have cheated. Like, it's insane. But to me, when you have...
What if we played by the same playbook?
And again, that really does boil down to the mindset. The mindset that we have to build in this new movement, this community. And it is, look, there are people that have the high ground well covered. The Pete Buttigieg that, I love him. I think he's got the high ground covered well. There's some of us, we need to go down and get the low ground covered now. And we need to realize that everybody plays their role. It's just like in the military. Every job matters. Everybody plays their role. And so, yeah, you got your Pete's and those folks up there, and then you got your Marxists and me that are ready to come down here and say, we're ready to punch these people in the face. Like, we really don't care. Like, we're going to tell it how it is. These people are doing things that if the roles were reversed, they would be losing their minds. If Obama had tried half the stuff we're about to talk about, they would have literally shown up with pitchforks and tried to drag him out of the White House. It's a fact.
It would have been bad.
It would have been bad.
So, if Obama was anything less than the president that he was, which is no drama Obama, kept it cool, great family man, handled the business of our government.
Don't you miss waking up to just knowing that you had a competent person running the country? And I didn't have to turn C-SPAN every day to go, what's happening today on Have We Lost Our Lives?
Steady hand.
Oh my God.
That was Obama. And, the thanks that we got for having President Obama.
Well, the pendulum swing was pretty bad, wasn't it?
Brutal.
Yeah. I'm just glad Obama's still around and actually willing to keep showing up.
I mean, speaking of Obama.
Let's get to that. So the DOJ has somehow decided that they want to investigate Obama now for Russia Gate.
So, they're a little strike force that claims the Obama administration orchestrated a treasonous conspiracy to undermine Trump after the 2016 election. I mean,
now,
really,
again,
they're trying to cover their bases on the Russia hoax, which we're still talking about that many years after.
They got video of Putin literally standing up there saying he did it.
So this is basically, again, we know that they're trying to deflect from the Epstein files and the whole crazy thing that they've got going on. But this just tells me, since we're still talking about this, is that it was true.
Yeah.
That Russia.
No, that's a good point.
They've got the goods on Trump.
Yeah.
They've got him.
And I don't think enough
for the gander. Russia, if you're listening, we need that moment.
And I don't think enough people realize what you just said. That it really does, when you connect the dots, make sense. They wouldn't be, and I said it about the Epstein files. I think it's the same premise, which is, I don't personally think Donald Trump keeps taking these political L's like he's taking, without knowing that he's got to keep covering it up. Because if there was nothing there, he would release it just to shut everybody up, just to make it go away. And he's not doing it.
Mouth closed.
Because he can't.
Shut up.
Yep.
He can't shut up. And it just, the more he talks, the more he tells on himself.
He does. And the DOJ, I believe we had a video for that one, of Tulsi, didn't we?
Do we have that video?
The implications of this are far-reaching and have to do with the integrity of our democratic republic. It has to do with an outgoing president taking action to manufacture intelligence, to undermine and usurp the will of the American people in that election, and launch what would be a years-long coup against the incoming president of the United States, Donald Trump.
And this is the person who's in charge of our intelligence apparatus, the community that I come from. So I started out with in the military. Tulsi Gabbard.
And if you follow me,
who is herself a Russian asset.
Thank you. I was about to say it. I'm glad you did.
We're not playing games here, folks. We're telling it with all due respect.
I love it.
She is a Russian asset.
I love it.
Full stop.
Oh my God, I love it.
Hillary Clinton called this out in 2015.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, so,
and she wasn't the only one, by the way.
It's true.
I mean, granted, she was one of the only that had the ovaries to say it from her soapbox. But there were a lot
The
of people.
Bavarian fortitude. Hillary had plenty of it.
Yes. And, you know, again, too many people just didn't want to listen to the women.
No.
Kamala Harris was warning us about a lot of what's happening right now. And people just didn't want to listen.
Tulsi was a Democrat at the time. She was never a Democrat.
Never. You do not
No, it
flip
wasn't.
as hard and as fast as she did. You don't. It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
Like, she went from being literally standing on the stage being a Democrat, a candidate for the Democrats, to 6 months later, she's literally MAGA.
Yeah.
Like, she's literally out campaigning for Trump candidates.
Well, she
Like,
was
you
still
don't
in the
make that
Democratic
flip.
Party.
Yeah,
She was still in the
no.
Democratic Party.
No.
And it's just nuts because, you know, in the beginning, she tried to come off as, you know, somewhat moderate. You know, hey, I'm a little bit of a maverick as a Democrat. I'm pushing back on the party, the status quo.
Yeah.
And that house of cards came tumbling down quite
Quick.
quick. So,
Yeah, I really am glad she didn't progress any further on the Democratic side. It's sad enough that, like you said, she's in charge of all of our intelligence, knowing that she is very likely a foreign agent.
very, very likely. I mean, people, we're in dangerous times right now, and we have been for quite some time. And that's really what this is all about, is, you know, kind of pointing these things out, having that conversation. You know, when we start bringing on our guests, who are going to be a lot of people who are running for Congress, some new, some who've run before, understand how things work. But we're going to have that conversation for you. And these are candidates all over the country that we're going to be interviewing.
Yeah.
We're going to be giving you a deep dive into why they're running, what they're running for, and who they are. So.
Yep. And speaking of this weekend, I'm supposed to, if everything goes the way it's supposed to, Move On has invited me to meet Jasmine Crockett along with some of our reps here in Arizona this weekend. So I really hope it all pans out and I'm able to get 5 minutes with them, because Jasmine Crockett in particular, you know, she's not just representing, you know, Houston or Texas. I really feel like she's one of the people out there. Yeah, she's representing all of us, you know, right now. And I want to do my part in supporting her and those that are willing to, like Marcus said, get in this fight the way that she is and the way that we're willing to, because I don't see anybody stopping her. And
she really is great.
And that's what we need.
We need a lot more Jasmines in the party. Honestly, I mean, she's a friend of mine, so I'm quite a bit biased. We need to hear a lot more from her.
Yeah.
And when I talk about the party closing ranks behind a message, right now I feel like she's one of the ones in the party who's sending the right message, showing people, hey, you can fight back and you can get down to their level, you know, contrary to the Michelle Obama, when they go low, we go high. Yeah, Jasmine can sit and talk policy with you. She can sit and talk about the Constitution, but she can also be in your face.
Yep.
With facts.
Facts. Which is what they don't like.
You know, she's called out my arch nemesis, Marjorie Taylor Greene, on several occasions. I mean, at least we forget.
Yeah. Oh, never. I don't think any of us will ever forget. No, like you said, you know, in terms of watching the Democratic Party try to shift into this new, you know, era that we really need to get into, you know, she's definitely one of the people, like you said, that I agree we need to all get behind and be like, yeah, she's one of our workhorses, man, and she's getting the attention that the party needs right now. So, and she's, like you said, she's doing what we all need her to do with that attention. You know, like she's not just focusing on herself, her political future. Like, in my opinion, from the outside looking in, you know, she's like, I'm just going to do the job as best I can, and if that doesn't get me voted back in, oh well. And that's the mindset we need. Like, you got Lauren Boebert on one side saying it's not my job to protect you or look after you. And then you've got somebody like Jasmine Crockett saying that is absolutely my job, is to make sure that you have things like medical coverage and clean water and shit like that. Like there, you couldn't be more contrasting than the two parties' messaging right now.
Absolutely. And, she's got the right message.
100%.
And personally, I feel that the party should be standing behind her a little bit more instead of
Agree
trying to
100%.
stifle her a little bit, which is and this is my personal opinion, I feel like they're stifling her a bit too much.
Oh, 100%.
Let her go. Take the kid gloves off. We're not playing anymore, because at the end of the day, and I know this isn't the popular thing to say, democracy is on the line. I don't think we're living in a democracy right now with the current administration.
That's not an exaggeration.
We've got to get to a place. These midterms are so important for the future of this country. They're so important for the future of this country that people like Jasmine's message needs to be amplified more. And the party needs to understand that and get behind her and, let her, like you said, be the workhorse.
Yep.
And that way we will see a Hakeem Jeffries holding the gavel instead of MAGA Mike.
Hell, we could see her holding the gavel.
One of these days.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, when you saw that passion from Cory Booker, that's the passion that I and so many of us have. Like, we're screaming at the party going, you have somebody right here. Yeah. She's young. She's smart. She's educated. She's passionate. Oh, and by the way, she's not too hard on the eyes either. Like, she's got the entire freaking package. And to see this fumbled the way that we're really watching it be fumbled at the moment on the Democratic side, it just goes back to, how could we not beat a convicted felon and a prolific business fraud? Because we can't manage, even when we've got an ace in our sleeve, we still can't manage it.
All of the topics are lining
Sorry
up
about the
in our
dogs, guys.
favor. No, I'm a pet-friendly guy. I got dogs as well. All of the topics are lining up in our favor. We know history's on our side. But getting back to Jasmine, not only is it the passion, it's that authenticity that translates to people. We've got to get fired up. She's the type, not candidate, the type member who does fire people up in the right way. In the right way. The way she pushes back, I think we need to see a lot more of that. And I want to see a lot more candidates who are running for Congress against MAGA, like I did, who had the same kind of passion and authenticity that I brought to the campaign. I mean, it wasn't an accident that we raised $17 million running against Marjorie Taylor Greene, and we moved a ruby red district 10 points in the right direction. It was because, I would get out there and speak truth to power and have real tough conversations with people and have honest conversations with people. Jasmine does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That's why.
And that really is the difference. Like, even when I watched you get out there when you were campaigning, and when I brought you on the first show we ever did, that's what I loved about the way you were campaigning, is that you were very genuine everywhere you went, but you were relatable. You explained your positions, but most importantly, you were in the middle on a lot of things that I felt like a lot of Americans are on. You weren't, in my opinion, so far left that you couldn't beat a Marjorie Taylor Greene in that district.
Absolutely.
So that's what I loved about watching that campaign unfold that you ran, because I really had hoped that, the great campaign you ran on top of all the crappy stuff she had done up to that point, would lift you up. But,
and understand,
like you said, a 10-point swing.
The district
that was
that I live in
huge.
is ruby red. It is. Green even said it. It is ruby red. It's very rural.
Yeah.
You got to have those conversations that aren't going to turn people off. I wasn't out there policing people's speech, but I was firm on what it was that I believed, and I'd have those conversations with them. And that's the important thing. You got to have those tough conversations. We moved a lot of Republicans who were turned off by Green and the first MAGA administration, which is now worse, much worse than the first, because they learned from the things.
Well, he's got nothing to run for.
Because we did have guardrails in place, so they learned how to get around those. And Project 2025, it's that administration on steroids. We had those conversations and moved a district 10 points that should have, if you really look at the numbers, shouldn't have moved at all.
Yeah.
Now, they also learned from that. We were fighting in the courts about our district lines and gerrymandering. So, after seeing what they saw with me and how we helped get a Senator Warnock elected,
Yep.
they decided, well, let's draw some of these places that he won out of this new district.
Which they're doing in Texas at this very second.
They're doing it.
Yep. So please go look for that news story. Texas is trying to get rid of. Do you remember how many seats it was? It was several Democratic.
Three, but
was it
I
three?
could be wrong on that.
Yeah. Don't quote us on the number, but I think it was with the maps drawn the way that they're presenting it. It would get rid of 3 Democratic reps in Texas.
Yeah, people check our math on that.
Yeah,
I'll have to
definitely
go back and look at that.
But please go read up on that, because again, there's so much news coming out. Like, Marcus and I could probably sit here and talk to you for 2 hours today with the outline we have. But, it's just, there's so many important things that are slipping through the cracks because we are focused so hard on, and we all are, and we should be, like, release the Epstein files. You campaigned on it. Like, come on, let's see it. But while we're doing that, there are a lot of other things still happening that, we need to keep our eye on.
We don't need to focus on. I know it's summertime and people are kind of checked out from politics, and
so school start.
Want to go out for vacation. School's about to start, but guys, midterms are right around the corner. And as one of my good friends always says, there is no off year. There is no off year.
No.
Especially under Donald Trump's presidency. We can't afford
not an off hour.
Not an off hour. We can't afford to take an hour off. So we've got.
Speaking of hours, I wanted to mention very quickly. I'm very thankful that Hawaii is. I believe everybody's safe. I don't think any crazy waves came in. So very thankful for that. I wanted to.
Systems.
I wanted to point out they had about a 3-hour warning from when anything was supposed to come in, which is a decent amount of time. I know the traffic got crazy with everybody trying to go and whatever, but at least they had some warning, which if you remember back to 2011 in Japan, they really didn't have much of a warning, and It was devastating. So thankfully this wasn't a repeat, but it did get us talking about the recent floods in Texas. And the reason we talked about it was that they did not have a warning system, but one had actually been proposed in that area because of it was dangerous. Yes. And it had been funded by an administration, but the local politicians turned it down. Can you tell the folks why, Marcus?
Turn it down because, in a nutshell, socialism. They didn't want Biden's Build Back Better money. So the money that they did get,
under Biden,
those funds, they miss it. The Joe Biden crowd misappropriating funds to say, oh yeah, let's get some more tactical police equipment and things like that. Oh, and by the way, let's give ourselves some raises in the police department and at the mayor's office. But this warning system that they've been warned about that they needed, there's a whole report on it. No, that's not important. Let's do some other things with that money.
So
for the infrastructure bill
passed by.
Look what happened when we lost a lot of kids in that flood. A lot of that could have been mitigated.
And that was going to be my next question is, do you feel like the people who turn that money away have blood on their hands?
After everything that I've read and seen about that, I mean, it's hard not to feel that way. It's hard.
That's how I felt.
I mean, you had misappropriated these funds for something that you knew that you needed.
Yep.
And lives are at risk. That's a recurring theme.
Yeah.
In the Trump administration.
Yeah, these are the same folks that don't want people on subsidies.
2020 and 2021 with COVID. They threw the Obama playbook out. It says this is how you deal with a once in a lifetime
pandemic.
This is Obama stuff.
We won't need that.
Let's throw that away. Instead, how about we inject bleach into people? And try
Or
that.
Ozempic. A lot of people that were anti-vax seem really quick to inject that Ozempic.
Super quick to hop on that one. But hey,
Yeah.
people aren't as worried about what they're putting in their bodies as long as Joe Biden's not president or a Democrat's not president.
Exactly.
All of a sudden, when you got conspiracy theorists in chief, running health in this country and telling the CDC what they can and cannot do and what they should and shouldn't be talking about with RFK Jr.
Getting rid of the whole vaccine committee. Yeah. It's insane, guys. So moving on to insane, I believe we also have a video from Donald Trump making some comments while on the airplane. So, of course, there will be the typical Donald Trump aircraft engines in the background. So I apologize for that noise. But yeah, this video, I believe with us talking, everybody talking about the Epstein files, and us going back to what we kind of said in the beginning of the show, which was you don't keep covering for this and taking these political L's unless you know that releasing them is going to damage you. So with that,
let's take on the topic du jour.
The reporters are not letting this go. And by the way, thank you to every reporter out there that is not letting this go. And so they were asking this question, and here was Donald Trump's response.
As far as the time you threw him out of Mar-a-Lago, can you settle that? What was it about? What caused the breach for him?
That's such old history. Very easy to explain, but I don't want to waste your time by explaining it. But for years, I wouldn't talk to Jeffrey Epstein. I wouldn't talk because he did something that was inappropriate. He hired help. And I said, don't ever do that again. He stole people that worked for me. I said, don't ever do that again. He did it again. And I threw him out of the place, persona non grata. I threw him out, and that was it. I'm glad I did, if you want to know the truth.
Yeah, well, there's one where he was asked on the airplane directly if it was Virginia Guffrey, and he confirmed it.
Yeah.
So it's like
he said he didn't know if it was her. He believes she worked there. The typical Trump speech.
Oh no, he straight up said yeah.
Yeah.
On that video, he straight up said yeah. And it's like, well, because she's already said it. There's a video of her saying that she was recruited from Mar-a-Lago. So then it's like, oh, so now you just admitted that you had an underage girl working in your best spa ever in Mar-a-Lago. So how many other underage girls did you have massaging men at Mar-a-Lago at the time?
Exactly. And was he one of those men?
You know he was.
We know he was.
Because he was upset because his favorite girls were getting stolen.
We're getting poached by Epstein. That was
explain that one, MAGA.
Remember they said before that this was about their falling out was about real estate.
Correct.
They'd said that in the past.
Oh God, you're so right.
Now under all these new revelations, actually it was about him poaching girls from.
It's like that doesn't make it better, dude.
Again, let him keep talking. What's the phrase the kids say? Let him cook. Let him cook.
He's cooking everything. He's cooking the books. He's cooking it all, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of the books, though, the GDP grew at about 3% this last quarter, which is, from the outside looking in, you would think that's good news, right? You would think. But context matters, folks. So again, as I always say on any show, I'm not trying to start a cult, just fact check one. So please always fact check what I say. It will not hurt my feelings. This 3% growth was partially due to companies stockpiling products and materials before Trump's tariffs went into effect.
They saw the writing on the wall.
Exactly. And they were trying to save money by stockpiling on the front end so that they could avoid having to pay the tariffs as long as possible. So that's why we saw kind of the uptick that we saw.
Right.
So I think the next quarter and definitely the quarter after that, in my opinion, is where we're really going to see the effects of the tariffs and what it's going to do to our GDP and everything overall. So while it looks like great news on the outside, I just challenge everybody, go read the context of why that number is what it is. Okay.
Well, we did a post on my Substack earlier this week about how Donald Trump's tariffs are directly impacting U.S. businesses. We referenced the National Retail Federation. We put the article in there on the Substack. Go check that out. It's from 3 days ago, and it's talking with these business owners, small business owners, who are getting raked over the coals right now. And yes, great news: the economy is up 3% right now. Fine. But Christmas is right around the corner, guys. It's right around the corner. You know, I can tell you now, I'm not feeling good in my pockets right now when I go to the grocery store, when I go shopping, whether it's, you know, in the stores or online.
We're struggling.
Everybody can see that prices are up. When there's energy prices, you know, they're up. You know, but what about the price of eggs? You know, when Joe Biden was president, it's about the price of eggs. Eggs are still up. Got it. And these retailers, while there's an increase in the economy at 3%, it grew at 3% right now. That's short term.
Yeah, it really
We're about to see that change. Again, Thanksgiving and Christmas are right around the corner. You know, these supplies are running out. Go read that article that we posted from the National Retail Federation. Listen to these business leaders talk about how they're being impacted, how they're doing a lot of their manufacturing overseas, and how these tariffs, it's being passed along to them. Those costs are being passed along to them, and they're passing it along to the consumer because they have to.
And I applaud all the businesses out there that are actually putting on their receipts, you know, the adjusted amount that we're paying.
Yes.
I really do appreciate that.
Love it.
I wish Amazon had stuck to their guns on that. I think that would have been very detrimental to this whole tariff movement. But, you know, of course, the billionaire folded.
The billionaire class, they've capitulated completely.
Yeah.
But small business are getting wrecked right now. And we all know that small business is the backbone of our economy.
Oh, we learned that during COVID.
We learned that during COVID.
Yep,
So
for sure.
they're about to take a hit.
Speaking of abandoning, I really, because we're both veterans, I know we wanted to talk about a few things today, which was the first being America essentially abandoning our Afghanistan allies. And I know you felt very similar to the way I did. So, tell folks how you felt knowing that we are refusing to help the people that we had promised we would help if they helped our troops on the ground.
Yeah, that's always been a tough and a deeply personal issue for me. You know, having spent 4 years in Afghanistan, having multiple interpreters, you know, some of whom I helped get here to the States after, you know, they served us. And, you know, I felt a certain type of way when we pulled out. I mean, to me, and that's on top of how we left things in Kurdistan and Iraq when we pulled out of there. You know, I spent a lot of time in Erbil when I was in Iraq. I spent 6 years in Iraq. We can't be counted on anymore by our allies. I mean, you throw those two topics with what we're doing in Ukraine, with what we're doing with NATO, and I'm a man who believes that you only have your word. And we're the United States. Our word should be good for something. When we make promises to people, when we tell those Afghans who risk life and limb, not only their lives and limbs, the lives and limbs of their families. And then we leave them there when it's all said and done.
It's shameful.
Not only that, we're taking away the protections of the people who are here, that we got here. And there's still plenty of them. I still know Several
Trying to kick them out.
still
Yep.
in Afghanistan, in hiding, mind you. They're in hiding.
Yep.
And the Taliban's looking for them because they know they're working for the Americans.
Yep.
You know, some have gotten out to other countries. Families are separated. You know, a member of their family's here. They've got members of their family still in Afghanistan and in other places throughout the world. It's
too easy
bad
for
situation.
Americans to, because they've never seen it, because they don't know somebody or family or whatever, you know, they don't have that same, you know, gut reaction that you do, that we do, you know, when we hear that.
We've lived with these people
Exactly.
day in and day out.
You trusted
You
them.
with them. You trusted them with your lives. You had to. You had to. I mean, I've literally been in situations where I'd walk in with an interpreter with a warlord, and if it didn't feel right to me, and they were like, "We need to go. We need to go."
Yep.
It's probably saved my life on multiple occasions. So you become these. They're not only interpreters. They're not only the people that work for you. They can become like family to you.
I've heard so many people say that.
They can become like family to you. So, you know,
But
for
again,
us
I don't-
to give our word saying, you know, when this is all said and done,
You're coming home with me.
coming on with us, we're going to process those visas and we're going to get you and your family out of here and back.
You've
to
earned
safe.
it.
And then we don't stay true to our word.
Let me ask you this. Do you, and maybe you know personally because maybe you've had this conversation, but if not, do you feel like those people blame us as the soldiers
I don't think they blame us.
for not, you think
and I
they
know I'm
know
not-
that we wanted,
Yeah.
you know, we wanted them to come home. You
I'm
know
not
what I mean?
singular. I'm not singular in this. I'm sure you had interpreters. I talk to friends all the time who are trying to get their interpreters and their families still to
Oh,
this
yeah.
day.
Yeah. Still working to try to get them home. Yeah. They knew, because they knew that the government, the military wasn't going to follow through. So they were going to do everything they could to follow through. And that's what I'm just glad that there are veterans out there that are willing to use their, you know, their time and resources. Uh-oh. Oh, I'm going to tap dance for you guys now. Ready?
All right, am I back in?
I
Where did
told
you
him, I
lose
says,
me
I'm
at?
going to start tap dancing now. You ready?
Where did you lose me at?
No, we were just saying, I just told them that I'm glad that there are veterans out there that, you know, are willing to use their personal resources and time to follow through when our government wouldn't. So, yeah, it's just, it's tough to watch. And I think we've all watched enough movies, for those of us who haven't experienced personally, when you go into battle with people, whether they're on your side or not, if you end up fighting together, that's a bond, man, that a lot of folks just don't get. And to see somebody that you have that bond with treated unfairly, it's
Yeah,
It's tough.
It's tough. It's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things in this country. I mean, when you look at the size of the military, you know, that's not many people in this country have a relationship with someone who's in or has been in the military. So I get it from that side, but you know, it's important that we are who we say we are as Americans.
Yeah, I like how you said that.
Stay true to our words when it comes to our allies and those who've helped us, who came to our aid, to our aid after 9/11. I mean, just think about this. This is the only time Article 5 of the NATO Treaty has ever been invoked with us. We invoked it. You know, and people that don't know what that is, an attack on one is an attack on all, and we're all going to come to our defenses. I mean,
Which is why Russia doesn't want Ukraine in NATO.
which is why Russia doesn't want Ukraine in NATO. So,
Just throwing that out there. But speaking of crazy things, let's continue with our government just continuing to display their hypocrisy and ridiculousness on a daily basis. You may have heard that AOC was facing an investigation because the dress that she wore to the Met Gala, I believe it was 2021, correct? Either that or 22. Don't correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, don't quote me.
And it was the one that said, I believe it was "Eat the Rich" in red on the back of it. I'm sure a lot of you all remember.
One of those years.
Apparently she paid like $800 or $1,000 for the dress, and it, people in Congress decided that that wasn't enough, that she should have paid more. So I think they ended up saying she owed her like $2,000, $3,000 or something like that to make up for what the dress was really worth. Now, to my knowledge, nowhere in this investigation did Congress factor in the notoriety that the person who made the dress received from somebody like AOC wearing it, and the attention that it got, which is also why the Republicans were so upset about it, was because it went viral.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, okay, now flip side, Donald Trump just received a $400 million jet from Saudi Arabia. It's going to need $900 million in taxpayer-funded revamping
yes.
to make it so that it can be used as Air Force One. Oh, and by the way, that's going to take somewhere from 18 to 24 months. And the two brand new Boeing 7, whatever they are, that are about to roll out, they come in 2028. So we've already got two brand new Air Force Ones that are on their way. Thank you for the balloons.
All right.
And so we've already got that happening. And now he's got this plane. But wait a minute, folks, it gets better.
It does get better.
This plane is not going to stay with us, the taxpayers, when Donald Trump leaves office. No. It's going to be transferred in ownership to Donald Trump's presidential library so that he can, wait for it, continue using it.
We can use it. I mean,
$1 billion in taxpayer-funded revamping is going to go into that plane. I'm not kidding. Go look it up. It's $900+ million. It's going to take 18 to 24 months. And if you've ever been in the military and been a maintainer, then you know that that's probably more like 30 months.
Oh, yeah. I mean, how many different ways can this guy violate emoluments? I mean, this is basically a bribe. I'm sorry.
It's a spit in our faces.
It's a bribe. It's spitting in our face. It's spitting in the taxpayer dollar's face. But then he gets to keep using it.
Yeah. Same country that gave.
And we get to keep paying for it.
And we're going to keep allowing it.
Oh.
And it's the same company, or same country, by the way, that gave $2 billion to Jared Kushner's investment firm when they were on their way out of the White House the first time. So I don't know about you, Marcus, but I'm really interested to see how much money they're going to get on their way out this time.
But yeah,
I'm thinking $4 billion.
But let's talk about AOC in a dress that, she probably paid fair market value for, and
nobody knew that designer's name. Well, I don't want to say nobody, but
I mean, I did.
She got a lot of notoriety because of that.
So
if she got two jobs because of that, you know what I'm saying? It made up the difference.
It made up for it. I mean, it was fair market.
And by the way, she didn't get it for free. She didn't get the dress for free, folks.
Yeah.
They were mad she didn't pay enough for it. But a $400 million jet from a country with questionable.
Let's talk about Trump Hotel in D.C. Yeah.
Well, there's still people out there arguing with me that Donald Trump gives away all of his hotel rooms for free to the Secret Service, and I have to tell them all the time, like, no, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
And then somebody said, well, Joe Biden paid the Secret or made the Secret Service pay to stay in a cottage or something like that. And I go, okay, was the cottage a business?
Did Joe Biden own that cottage?
Did Joe Biden own it? No. Oh, okay. So that's where your argument is dumb.
Right. So I mean,
like, speaking of dumb, though,
I mean, it's nuts, guys, and we got to keep pushing back against this. We got to keep exposing the hypocrisy, the BS, and the lies.
Well, like I said, moving on to nuts, Candace Owens has decided to go into bankruptcy in the near future. She is being sued by the president and first lady of France, the Macrons. I believe I pronounced that.
Macron.
And They are suing her for saying that the first lady was born a man.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure if she particularly started it, but she definitely amplified that particular talking point,
So I
which
think there's something like 22 counts that they've laid out in their.
was it that many?
Page. Yeah, there's a lot.
They're going for her.
No, absolutely, and why not? Go
Oh,
for
they
it.
should. They
Yeah,
absolutely should.
we've got to push back on these wild conspiracy theories and lies that they just get away with time and time again. I mean,
I wish Obama would do this with the right wingers that talk about Michelle like that.
absolutely. I mean, this harkens back for me to what was it, Alex Jones and the families of Sandy Hook. Was it a 1.2 or 1.5 billion dollar?
Yeah, it was massive
Lawsuit, which is, by the way, still hung up in a Texas court or a bankruptcy proceeding.
Do you
So
think
they're
the
trying to
families
get
will
their
ever
money.
see any of that?
I think they'll see something eventually. That's being held up right now with these bankruptcy proceedings, and I think the judge in that matter is kind of throwing his hands up and is kind of tired of the whole going back and forth with Jones and his lawyers, and not in a good way, mind you. I think he's getting so frustrated with it that he's just
Gonna make
kinda
it go
like,
away.
potentially that's where he could get with it, and that doesn't need to happen because accountability is important. And I was happy to see that judgment against Jones. That was in a Connecticut court.
Yeah, that was a great precedent to set.
And I think Candace Owens should get the same treatment. She should get the same treatment.
Hey, look, Candace, if you're watching, you should have learned from Cardi B.
Yeah.
You don't go around spreading stuff, because somebody with the resources is gonna pop up out of the bushes and say, "Not today."
Not today. Look, we got to get back to a place in this country where we make conspiracy theories stupid again.
Man,
We've got to get back to that
I need to
place.
say that louder.
Got to, well, I'll say it again. We've got to make conspiracy theories stupid again. We can't normalize this stuff in the mainstream media and talk about it like it's a serious thing. No, these people need to be back on the fringes of our political discourse and just the public square.
Yeah,
Be the crazy ones that we're not listening to anymore. That's who we used to be. We used to call crazy what it was. Crazy.
yeah.
We're not going to talk about whether or not,
We're not gonna entertain
what
it.
we saw happen, not happen, or some wild conspiracy theory or whatever it is. We need to get back to that place in this country and
I agree.
stop normalizing everything and stop just, oh, yeah, well, this is what we're talking about today. We're talking about Candace Owens.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's
Bridget
not give her too much of our
Crone.
time.
Man.
Yeah. So this is the last topic that we have for today, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Before we do, I just want to remind everybody, please go subscribe, like, comment wherever you're watching this from. Make sure you go subscribe to Marcus's Substack, because that's where the majority of our stuff is going to be coming out for the show here. So with all due respect, make sure you like that stuff. All right.
Give us a like. Help us grow. This is the first episode. There are going to be many more to come, guys, and we're just getting started.
I don't think we did too bad for our first
I don't
episode.
think we did too bad for the first.
Yeah,
episode.
I think we did
This
good.
is my first time ever doing a podcast, so this is number one for me. As I get some reps in, I'm going to get better at this, guys. I can promise you that. And we got, as we're moving into this cycle, this is by design to get going before we got really deep into the midterms, so we'd be ready to bring out those candidates and let you guys talk with them. And we'll be everywhere. We'll have you guys get some more involvement and let you get to know who our future leaders are.
Absolutely. And a big thanks to our team too, behind the closed doors, our producer Keith, and everybody helping us get this thing up and running. We appreciate you guys. So with that, let's get into, in my opinion, we talked a lot offline about stories that are kind of getting missed. And I think this is one that a lot of people missed. And that is that federal workers can now talk about and recruit people for their religion. So I'm going to read you some, because again, I think I want y'all to really understand what's happening.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, right. The Trump administration released a memo Monday that aims to protect religious expression among federal workers, outlining that employees can attempt to persuade coworkers about why their religious beliefs are correct. The memo outlined conduct that should not result in disciplinary or corrective action, including displaying Bibles in the office, religious artwork, jewelry, posters, displaying religious messages, and other indica of religion, such as crosses, crucifixes, and mezuzah? I don't know what that is. Sorry. The memo also said one or more employees should be allowed to engage in individual or communal religious expressions, and that employees can engage in conversations on religious topics, including attempting to persuade others to the correctness of their own religious views, provided that such efforts are not harassing in nature. I don't know about you, man, but when I have somebody telling me that my beliefs aren't right and I should believe like them, I think that's harassing in nature. Maybe it's just me. Federal workers can also encourage their coworkers to participate in religious expressions of faith, such as prayer, to the same extent that they would be permitted to encourage coworkers participate in other personal activities. Yeah, because throwing a football around and praying, those are the same. The memo included details about how federal workers can engage with others about why they think their personal faith is correct and why others should rethink their own beliefs. During a break, an employee may engage another in polite discussion on why his faith is correct and why the non-adherent should rethink their religious beliefs. However, if the non-adherent requests such attempts to stop, the employee should honor the request, the memo said. An employee may invite another to worship at their church despite belonging to a different faith. The memo follows Trump's executive order on anti-Christian bias, which aims to protect Christians from religious discrimination. Now, I also want to throw in there that at the same time this is happening, Tennessee just made it so that schools or that doctor's notes would no longer be a sufficient reason to pull their kids from school. But the Supreme Court says that parents can remove their kids from any class that they deem goes against their religion. So doctor's note, bad. Faith, completely fine.
Yeah. Got it.
Pick a lane, folks.
So the party of we don't like you guys indoctrinating our kids
are now indoctrinating everybody for Christianity.
To indoctrinate anyone that works in a federal office. I was a federal employee, just like you. Even though it says in the Constitution there should be no laws with respect to religion. First Amendment, guys. The First Amendment.
Y'all should try reading it.
Try reading
it. Or reread it for those of us who may need a refresher.
I mean, like I said at the beginning, what could possibly go wrong?
You know, it's just...
And we're not talking about, a Baptist trying to get a Methodist person to come to their church. I mean, that's that.
Well, and
that's not what we're talking about here.
There was even more wording in the letter that made it sound like, but religions that were deemed, what was the word that was
improper
used?
Or not correct.
No, it wasn't even that. It was something like hostile or something like that. It was a word like that. And it's like, so that sentence, to the sentence I read, I automatically said that's the sentence they're going to use to say you can't practice, Muslims can't practice.
Or their faith is incorrect or non-adherent. Should rethink.
Non-adherent to what? Christianity?
Christianity, of course. That's what it's all about.
So basically, if there's a Muslim person in the workspace, they're saying that the Christian can come in there and basically be like, your religion's wrong, mine's right, and here's why.
A Muslim or a Sikh or
anybody,
or Jewish or Catholic,
yeah,
go in and just rail on that person because
I didn't even think about the Jewish folks.
Dump your Bible at them. I mean, and I'm a Christian.
I'm a Catholic.
There's no place for that in the workspace, not in a federal workspace, which is
or government, for God's sake.
Federal workspace,
Because again, people, go look up the definition of faith.
Please do.
Please, it's faith. I have faith that there's a God. I have faith that one day I'm going to get to see my old man again and talk to him. That's my faith. That's my personal belief. That's what I hope is going to happen. I hope there's an afterlife. You know, I hope that some of these things that we've been told is true. But I do those things knowing that there is very, very little physical proof here on this planet to support a lot of what I believe. That's just a fact. It's a scientific fact. So because of that, it is, thank you. So it is our personal faith that that's what we hope, that's what we think is going to happen. And because that it is not based in any type of scientific fact that I can grab and show you, this is why I believe this, because of that, because we have this proof. That's the reason that it should not be used to govern or manage anything. Like
this memo, it reeks of Federal Society, Leonard Leo. So they got their hands all over this. Yeah, Novus God, basically pushing religion on others in the workplace. That's exactly
what it is.
Stumping the Bible at work in a federal office.
Yep. You're going to have the God hats now coming in, and so basically it's just like every Sunday when you used to get that bang on the door and you'd open it and say, have you seen God? It's that at work now every day.
It's that at work. Yeah.
Yay.
You have a moment speak about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I mean, personally,
I did it before I came to work.
Do it. I'm not going to do it at work when I was in a federal workspace. No.
So the fact that they would do this, it just shows that they don't understand the level of unpleasant discourse this is going to create in the workspace. And anybody that is not what's that?
Maybe they do. Maybe they do.
Okay.
Maybe they do. Maybe they want to cause the chaos there so that they can target people in the federal workforce. And
you think to make them like I self-identify, or
for their own nefarious reasons.
Hey,
I can't.
I will put nothing past them at this point.
Put it past them.
No, for sure. Well, hey, brother, I think this was an amazing first
Great conversation, man.
And I look forward to getting to speak with more of our folks in the comments section. But before you go, again, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We'll be in the comments off and on trying to reply to you guys. We have a guest, I believe, scheduled for next week. Our first guest. You want to tell us about them real quick?
So Rob Ryersey, who is running for Congress in Arkansas, and I'll tell you the district next week. I think it's the 3rd. It's the Fayetteville area. He's running for Congress up there. He's agreed to join us next week, be our first guest on the podcast, and we're looking forward to having him.
Yeah, definitely. So again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button before you take off. But I'll leave you as I always do with much love. Keep fighting. But most importantly, make sure you all stay safe out there.
Love you guys. Bye.